Steven. I'm joined by John, Tiffany, and Erock. We are from Just Got Played, and we are bringing you our top plays of 2022. So that is not necessarily a game that was new in 2022. It's just a game that was new to us that we played for the first time in 2022. All right. Erock, you want to start us off? What is the best new game you played in 2022?
Well, I think if you've been watching our videos for a while, this is not going to be a surprise to you. But my top pick for 2022 is Ark Nova. I love Ark Nova. It's fantastic. I'm not 100% sure it came out in 2022. It might be a 21 game, but I played it first in April. And I loved it the first time I played it. I've loved it every time I've played it since. I think it's really awesome. It's definitely in my top X. I don't know. I haven't done that in a while, but it's probably in my top 10, if not my top 20. It's a really fascinating game to me. It kind of fits into two of my wheelhouses at the same time. One of which is I love tactical card games where you just do the best you can with what you draw. And the other thing is I like really long games. So this and that, it is that. It's a tactical card game over a long playtime. And I enjoy that very much. I do have a, fair enough win percentage on this, but it doesn't bother me. Like, I just have fun playing this game and working this engine. For those of you who have not heard me speak about this before, I'll give you a very brief overview, which is it's a game about making a zoo. And there's a whole lot that goes into that on here. And the main driving mechanism here is a card system where you have 5 actions. Those are your cards, and they're under slots 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And when it's your turn, you just choose whichever action you want and you execute it. And you execute it at the power of the number where it's at. So if you execute something at 5, you're getting a whole lot more out of that action than if you execute it at, say, a 2. So the real game here is figuring out how to accomplish all the things you want to and maneuvering those cards around so that you're getting like the maximized efficiency out of that as well. I really enjoy this game. Like I said, 800 times in 800 videos. It just really scratches a good itch for me. I think it's really pretty as far as it goes. I mean, it's all just, animals and stuff on pictures and stuff like that. But I think it fits the theme really well. It's really pretty. If there's any criticisms, it's already what I said. And that is, it is a long game and it is card based. So if you're really focused on winning this game, you just might not get the cards. If for instance, we're going to score reptiles this game and the first card I get is like get $2 every time somebody places a reptile, I've already got an advantage in this game. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take some really good luck to or bad luck on my part. Like maybe that's all really any synergy I got for the rest of the game. But again, that's my point, is that's this game, is there's so many different and unique cards. You cannot bank on getting the things that you want to be combos. You just don't know that you're going to, just because there's so many cards. But again, I just enjoy playing it. I like winning it, of course, but I enjoy the engine. I enjoy the little puzzle. I enjoy trying to do the best I can with what I've got. And I really, really like Ark Nova.
My problem with the game is that it's one letter away from Noah's Ark, and you're not putting animals on a boat. It's false advertisement at its most blatant, and I won't.
Cross this with Olive Cats, and then it would.
Yeah, and then everybody's happy.
Yeah, add polyominoes to the game. That'll speed it up.
That everybody loves that. Ark Nova is a great game. I would play Ark Nova and rate it 1 point higher if the game included 2 extra items, and that is a sand timer and a baseball bat to enforce it. Because I like the game, I like how long it is. But when it gets to somebody's turn and they take their bifocals and put them on, and go, all right, now what do I want to do? You just want to hit them with that bat. If people are taking their turns and they're moving along, it is one of the best games of the year by far. If you get stuck behind somebody that's just like taking forever, it can kind of drag on. So even the deck, which does have that problem, like you said, of where you can't really dig for what you're looking for, I don't mind that so much as long as the game's moving along. Because like you said, I can play it and not win, and I still had a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And this game, I think, really exacerbates that AP problem because, you really should know what you want to do. By the time it comes back around to you, your cards are in the same position. Now, granted, there might be a few things that change here and there on the board, but other than that, 90% of the time, you should know what you want to do by the time it becomes your turn. So I agree. When somebody's sitting there taking forever, it annoys me as well, because I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, probably 95 times out of 100, when it's my turn, I'm already going. Oh, it's my turn? All right, this is what I do. And that's my turn.
That's one of the things I haven't played Ark Nova, but that's one of the things I enjoy about games. I enjoy thinking about what I'm going to do on my turn when it's my turn. And so people who don't do that, who are just like, oh, it's my turn. Oh, what should I do? I'm like, yeah, that's a bit of a pet peeve for me. Tiffany, you've played Ark Nova?
I have. I've played it a lot with Eric because it's one of his favorites. In fact, he got upgraded components for Christmas this year for that game because he enjoys it so much.
Did it come with a fancy cup for the break timer?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's awesome. So yes, I could have guessed that your number one was Ark Nova. I can guess John's number one as well. I don't think I can guess Tiffany's though. So Tiffany, why don't you tell us what your favorite new to you game of 2022 is?
It came down between 2 games for me, and I was kind of going between them, and I decided that I had to decide between the 2 based on which game I just am more excited about playing, which one I'm more excited to get to the table next. And that game, which is new to me this year, 2022, was Quacks of Quedlinburg, I think. I always want to throw extra N's in there. Which is a press your luck game where you are trying to create a potion that's going to cure all that ails the town of Quedlinburg. And you are getting ingredients based on the limited amount of resources that you have. And then you put those ingredients in your bag. And then when it's your turn, well, it's everybody's turn at the simultaneous play. You pull ingredients out of your bag and you try not to bust. With the ingredients that will cause, I don't even remember what the ingredient is that will cause you to bust.
Is it cherry blossom?
Cherry bombs, I think.
Cherry blossom, cherry bomb, one of those 2.
Cherry
something.
Yeah. So once you exceed 7 cherry somethings, you bust, and so you have to kind of play this press your luck game based on your memory of what you've purchased and put into your bag so far. So it's bag building, it's press your luck, it's all sorts of stuff rolled into one. It's a lot of fun, and I like to scratch my itch of press your luck in games because I'm too afraid to actually press my luck in real life. So this is where I get to live wild and dangerously is at the table. So my game of 2022 was Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Wow, that is interesting. I introduced this game to my kids this year. I've had it longer than that. But so that's the first time we played it with them, and they're 9 years old now. I probably introduced it to them when they were 8. But anyway, one of my sons, this is his favorite game. Like if I ask him, do you want to play a game? He's like, can we play Quacks? He loves that game so much. It takes a little bit of time to set up and a little bit of time to play. So sometimes I'm like, is there something quicker we could do? But yeah, no, it's a great game.
I agree. And the teach isn't that easy either. It seems like it should be that easy, but if you've got somebody who hasn't really played before, you really got to get into what the different things do and stuff like that. But overall, I agree 100%. This is an absolutely awesome game. I can't believe it took us as long as it did. It's just one of those that was on our list for a long time. And then we finally got around to it, mostly because of the prodding by you guys. And it was fantastic. So
it's a great game. I really started to sour on the concept of expansions lately for many different reasons. But Quacks is one that has expansions that you can just put into a first play and it's not a problem. And it gives you more options. It gives you more interesting things to do. And it doesn't make it harder to teach. So it's one of those rare games these days that I'm like, I like the game and the expansions add to it without adding overhead. So I think it's a great little package.
That's funny. I bought the Herb Witches expansion just for the 5th player, and I've never used any of the other components.
You should. The witches are really neat.
I may have used some of the placards from there. I may have mixed some of those randomly and played with those. But yeah, no, we've never tried the witch pennies or whatever else is in there. So
it's a really good addition.
Yeah. All right. Cool. We'll have to check that out. John, what is your favorite new to you game from 2022?
Well, if it had been a week earlier, it might be Frosthaven since that finally arrived, but that was in 2023. So it's going to be.
Whoa! Stop. You got Frosthaven?
Yeah, it's on the table right now. We built the wooden insert. We're good to go. Unfortunately, due to scheduling issues, we won't be able to play our first game for another month, but it's here.
You know Lloyd's going to put that picture of you in the thumbnail.
That's the thumbnail.
Oh man.
We're sleeving it right now as we speak. Can't wait. But in lieu of that, since it took too long to get here, my favorite game is Guilds of Merchant Explorers. It's just such a neat little game. It's got great mechanisms to it. Essentially, everybody's got their own map and you're exploring it. And there's a bunch of things you can explore. There's wreckages. There's different types of landmass. There's different objectives that you're trying to get. And then there's different technology cards for each person. So there's a lot going on within the game, and the mechanics of it are really fun and interesting. It's an easy teach. It's got a really fun table presence on it. And it's one, like Erock said, I've never won Guilds. I've probably played 8 to 10 games of it. I've never won one, but I've had just as much fun as if I did win. It just doesn't matter to me. It's a fun little puzzle that I'm trying to solve, and counting up the points at the end is almost just an extra thing that I don't really care about because I had fun during the puzzle. So it's my favorite game. I enjoy it for a lot of reasons. And I think it's definitely the sleeper hit of 2022.
Well, that's funny. The first time you played this was the first time I played this, and I just assumed you beat me. But I guess not. I don't know.
I don't remember who won. You know what? I definitely won that handily by many points, and I did amazing.
Yeah. That sounds about right. That tracks.
Yeah. You can't prove it didn't.
Have you all gotten a chance to play this?
No, not yet. I know some people, including you guys, have talked good things about it. It's just it never really caught our eye because it looks
it
looks boring, right? And generic. But
the title does it no favors. The map, while it's a neat, like old school, like cartographer look, doesn't do a lot to be like, oh, that is a really fun and interesting game. So I could see why from afar, it's just kind of like, oh, that seems kind of bland.
But you guys like cartographers. So if you like cartographers, how could you say, well, this looks boring?
I think the game looks great, but I don't think it looks exciting.
Yeah. And you're right. The name does not help.
No.
Yeah, you couldn't have come up with a more generic name. It might as well.
We'll have to play. I mean, we never played Quacks either and loved that. Yeah. So
I think you'd really enjoy it. It's a neat game.
Well, I'm only half here right now because I'm still trying to recover from the fact that you have Frosthaven and I don't. Okay, so.
Yeah, wait till we do the top plays of January video and he can talk about it some more.
My first session won't be until February, so it will not be there.
There's still hope, babe.
Yeah. Well, the Guild of Merchant Explorers, I think, is a great game. It would be in the running for my favorite game published in 2022. It would probably finish second or third. But my favorite new to me game from 2022 was actually published in 2021, and that is Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. So I like Terraforming Mars, and I like Race for the Galaxy, and this is sort of a combination of both of those. So you have the action selection thing going on from Race for the Galaxy, where you choose, and I don't remember the names of the phases, explore, settle, develop, whatever, So you have the choices, and whichever one that you choose, not only do you get to do that, but everybody else gets to do it, but you get some special benefit for having chosen that one. But then you'll get to do all the other ones people chose as well, which means some of them are probably going to be left out, right? So you might be counting that you were going to, want to play this blue card this turn, but the phase where you play the blue cards into your tableau doesn't happen. And speaking of the tableau, that's where it's more like Terraforming Mars. You're putting down these cards. There are synergies between these cards with tags on them. The cards can have abilities that you can activate when a certain phase is triggered. And then, of course, you're, doing the stuff about trying to, raise the temperature and oxygen level and to build an ocean on Mars. Thematically, that's all there. So it gives me the experience I want from Terraforming Mars in the time it takes to play Race for the Galaxy. Probably a little bit longer than that, actually, but it's probably half the time it takes to play Terraforming Mars. And it's a heck of a lot easier to explain than either one of those games, I think. So, if somebody hadn't played one of those games, I would probably want to play this one first. If, I didn't have a lot of time, I would play this one first. There's a lot of reasons why I would pick this game over those other games, even though I like all three of them. But anyway, I really like it a lot. It's the only game that I played in 2022 that I rated like an 8.5 or higher. Ratings change over time, right? You get to play some games some more or whatever. But as of right now, it's the game that I rated the best that I played in 2022, Terraforming Mars, Ares Expedition.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, I know you all like that game. But
Well, it's funny because Erock chose Ark Nova and you chose that, and both of those games I really love. Easily top 5 for me because they implement mechanics from older games that are just, why have these not been put into more games? And they do it in such a beautiful way that it enhances them. That card selection in Ark Nova, where if it's a 5, it's stronger and you have to manipulate that. And then the action selection, those are 2 of my favorite mechanics in all of board games. And they've been in exactly 2 games to date that I know of each. So I'm glad that those mechanics are seeing more love and more light. And I'm really hoping people take it and go, oh, well, I can do this with it now. So I'm really glad that both of those games turned out well, because it bodes well for those be coming back in the future.
Indeed, standing on the shoulders of giants and all that,
Mhm.
right? Well, all right. Those are the best new to us games that we played in 2022. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. That does help us out. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Look down in the description below. There are links to follow us on all the different social media channels, or you could come over to the Discord and chat with us about games. But until next time, I'm Steven. I'm here with John, Tiffany, and Erock. We are Just Got Played. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for coming. See you next year.